Say yes to new beginnings.
Yes.
Say yes to new beginnings.
Yes.
Say yes to.
This is the commonest mistake that any lawyer can make.
Just like what any other professional would make, when you think you know it all, when you are not humble, when you rely on your old knowledge. I would say old knowledge because what you know now within your very small environment could be miles behind what others have known. So if you go about believing that, oh, because you had a standing ovation yesterday, or you had a spell-binding moment yesterday, and you think you know, and you go to sleep, oh, believe me, you're going to have it rough in court. And also, there is always that belief that because you are a lawyer, you are not one of the people out there in the society. And you think you can hide yourself away and corral yourself in your own imaginary world. When you do that, believe me, you are bound to fail as a lawyer. Because as a lawyer, you have to have, what would I call it now? Is it social intelligence? Very, very necessary. You have to be creative. And all of this would come with a load of so many things. So wherever you go, whatever you do, you must always have the ability to attend to issues so that you go home with experiences. Because at the end of the day, it's the aggregate of those experiences that gives you the knowledge with which what you adapt and respond to issues. So if you ask me in a word, a bad lawyer, and the common mistake for those bad lawyers is feeling that they know it all and that there is no longer any need for them to learn. Because why are you a learned man anyway? You're learned because the profession says you must learn every day. We are the only people who are learning every day. For every day of your life, you are learning. Even the justices of the Supreme Court, sometimes you have private chats on an issue, and you see them being very emphatic that, oh, this is the issue. But you say, but why don't you wait for us to, when the issues come, let us respond to these issues. And sometimes when you now present your own thoughts on the issues, of course, before you put pen to paper, you would have done your own research. And when you now place before them your own reasoning, and they also see the responses of others, you see them shifting. And that is why you see them always going back to cases that they've held, and precedent, they try to moderate those precedents. Boundaries are pushed by lawyers who are always researching and who always believe and know that, hey, for you to be a good lawyer, you must be an everyday learner.
Now, which has been the most memorable case that you have handled, since you became a lawyer?
So many of them, but let me give you one because that one has to do with me. In 2014, I was handling a governorship election petition in Gombe. And as usual, I filed the processes in the name of some Kargbo. And I announced myself as usual in court as some Kargbo. But election petitions, like they say, when they say they are sui generis, they come with their own funny aspects too. If you want to know what technicality is in law, address or pay attention to election petitions. And that's why when I see people crying out there, I laugh, But let me come back to the point, and my colleagues, about 6 of them, senior advocates on the other side, I wasn't a senior advocate by then, they say, oh, this gentleman, you think you are at large, you think you are invisible, we'll tell you we've been in this game. So what did they do? Halfway into the trial, they brought an application that they have gone to the Supreme Court to look for the name Sam Kargbo. They didn't find it there. What they saw on the roll is Samuel Peter Kargbo. And therefore, this lawyer here who announces himself as Sam Kargbo and the processes is filed as Sam Kargbo, they violate the law, because the law says it's only a lawyer who should what? Sign legal processes and have audience in court. And I thought it was a joke. And I didn't pay attention to it because I thought, no, this is a joke taken too far. On the day of arguing the motion, I was very casual. I told the judge, I said, what are they saying? I said, the law does not say the name is the lawyer, is the person who bears the name. I am saying my name is Sam Kargbo. But of course, I am one and the same person as Samuel Peter Kargbo. So if I decide to call myself Sam Kargbo, as almost every other person has been doing, what's that? And casually, I went to sleep. Only for the next day, the ruling, the tribunal upheld the argument, and on the basis of that, they brought an appeal to say, okay, since the name is not there, because they said, Sam Kargbo could mean Samantha, and because of that, they brought another application that the petition should be dismissed because the person who has been appearing is not a lawyer. The tribunal election petition, no, that's a governorship petition. The tribunal, on the basis of that, dismissed the petition. I went to the Court of Appeal. Of course, the Court of Appeal said this is a joke taken too far. May that day never come that a lawyer would be denied audience simply because he's abbreviated his names, and or that he calls himself in with an alias. And they now appeal. We went to the Supreme Court. Luckily for me, when we went to the Supreme Court, all the female members of the Supreme Court were on the panel of the 7 justices. So when I was responding, because then since they appealed from they appealed the decision of the Court of Appeal, they moved their own briefs. They adopted their brief first and did their own adoration. So the justices were asking them one after the other to say, what are we talking about here? So when I got up, I said, my Lord, the long and short that they are saying, like my Lord, all the judgments that she had made her life on the bench are void because what? Kekereku is not on the roll. Because he's not bearing the husband's name. And my Lord, Peter Odili, all the judgments making, they cannot be said. So they were furious. They said, what is happening to the profession? You cannot take technicalities to this height. But what am I saying? Yes, I won at the Supreme Court, but they won because they knew what they wanted. By the time the Supreme Court now said, go back and continue the trial, I had only 3 days left.
Wow.
3 days left, and I was in Abuja, no flight to Gombe. I had to leave in the middle of the night to go. By the time I got there the next morning, I only have, a day in between for me to notified the tribunal that we have to commence the trial. And I only had just 1 day. And it is because of that particular case that they had to amend the Electoral Act to say that all preliminary objections now should be taken together with the trial, so that at the end of the day, you have one judgment. So that you don't have this sort of a situation whereby you would have a petition being dismissed on the preliminary basis, and by the time they get back, assuming the petitioner wins on appeal, they come back, the days are gone. So that, you understand, that case, of course, so most of the time, if I go to court, if I announce myself as Sam Kargbo, the justices or judges will say, again, I said my life. And then the Supreme Court has given me authorization to announce my name, and I will proudly announce myself as that.
I like that.